The Ugu South Coast Tourism Board proudly brings you the South Coast Surf Carnival, presented by Jeep Apparel and The Independent on Saturday. The surfing and kiteboarding weekend's competition would take place on KwaZulu-Natal's lush south coast or Scottburgh's main beach, and although the weatherman had predicted some rain, the upside would be strong wind on day 1 for the kiteboarders and bigger competitive surf on day 2 to keep the longboard event on a knife edge. Welcome to the South Coast Surf Carnival. With a fresh breeze and sunshine, the different events would go through the qualifying rounds and heats, and with the various age group categories entered, the large field would bear testimony to the popularity and growth of these competitive water sports over the past couple of years.
We're on the south coast of Durban, the South Coast Surf Carnival. It's quite a nice atmosphere going on over here. The longboarders are out in the water already. The wind isn't perfect, it's a bit lumpy and bumpy, making it tricky for the competitors, but I think the kiteboarders, they're going to go in late, are going to love it. Yeah, I got down to the beach this morning and your guys' water is so brown. It looks like a chocolate factory out there. It's kind of scary. When I paddled out for a practice surf, there's fish jumping around and the river's flooding, so I think it's going to make things a little bit tough. It's not just surfing the wave. There's other things on my mind. I know that there's a couple of men in grey suits swimming around in this brown water, so it's not just the competition and not just the other guys with the other vests. It's a couple more factors, especially with this brown water. It's just crazy.
With the heavy inland rains mixing up the waters, the neighbourhood watch would be out for the odd Zambezi or Reggie straying into the contest zone.
It doesn't look too bad from here. It looks contestable, but when you get out there, it's pretty bumpy. It's all over the place. Now and again, if you find a smooth face, you can do something with it. Matthew's in the water right now. He's doing a couple of things out there, but then Matthew can do anything on anything. So, but hopefully tonight we're going to get offshore, and tomorrow we'll have good contestable waves.
Day 1 was definitely the time for the kiteboarding competitors to shine as the cream of South Africa's crop came out in the howling onshore wind to take part in a multifaceted event over the Saturday's ideal conditions.
All happening over here at Scottburgh. We've got wave riding, which means the guys use surfboards and they ride the waves, and we use the kites to pull us through sections, jump over waves. It's kind of like having a jet ski in the sky and you're the driver as well. So it's real fun, and keep your eyes peeled for a lot of the action later on today.
Jeep have come to the party once again and sponsored this event down here, and it's good to see so many guys turning out to come and watch what's going on. It's always a fun atmosphere down, and everyone sort of gets together and has a lot of fun here. We've got a new format coming out now, which is the guys are hitting the wave, so it's going to be a 4-man heat, 10 minutes in the water, and the guys are going to be scored on each wave and judged according to how they surf. So it's going to be different to the way we normally score a competition, where the guys are scored on tricks and over-impression. This is going to be more based on the waves and what the guys are doing in the surf.
With this new approach to competition, combining both wave riding and tricks, some of the surfers may have got a slight advantage.
Yeah, I'm lucky to make the final. Conditions are pretty testy out there. Onshore, pretty difficult to ride waves, and that's the criteria, but you got to do what you got to do. I got the Crystal brothers in my final, Rob and Craig. And Lyle Botcher, a surfer that's just recently moved, professional surfer, has recently moved over to the karting scene, so should be interesting. See you later.
And it was a very closely contested final with Rob Crystal, Craig Crystal, Gavin Spout and Lyle Botcher contesting it out for line honours. Rob Crystal went to the front early and was never ever topped in that final. Craig Crystal, Gavin Spout and Lyle Botcher went all the way to the end, and finally the judges, between 4 of them, went out on a split decision. Second place went to Gavin Spout, third Lyle Botcher, and Craig Crystal, brother of Rob Crystal, came in fourth. A great final.
Well, I was the only goofy footer out there, so the advantage of being able to ride both ways. I could ride the left and I could ride the right. Most of the other guys just riding the right. But at the end of the day, it just sort of came up to, I had one really good wave in the beginning, and then the rest of the time I was looking for waves, but I won it, so I mean, I must have done something right.
With a stoked Rob Crystal making his mark in the good kiteboarding conditions, we cut back across the bay to the longboard contest, where everyone from the Grandmasters to the ladies were keen to get some glide time in the growing swell at Scottburgh's main beach.
Day 2 of the Jeep South Coast Festival contest here at Scotborough Main Beach, and great to have southwesterly wind blowing this morning. Conditions definitely cleaning up. Water's still chocolate brown, but having said that, even with the onshore yesterday, we had some great waves, some very good surfing, and I think it's going to get even better today.
Something old to hit the surfing shores this year is the classic stand-up longboard surfing technique made famous by the islanders of the Pacific.
Yeah, what we saw yesterday and what's going to happen today again is classic paddle surfing, stand-up paddle surfing, which has been around in Hawaii and comes from many, many years ago, but being showcased here at Scotborough at the South Coast Festival at the Jeep Longboard Contest for the first time. We saw Jason Rubink out there yesterday on that stand-up board. Very interesting to see the way he handles and maneuvers that board, because it's a difficult piece of equipment to use. He's been spending a lot of time on the board. It's a very, very good form of surfing in the sense that it's a very good workout. Even when you're not paddling, you're just standing on the board, it's working various muscle groups, out there doing a very good workout and then being able to surf and enjoy it as well. So an interesting form of surfing, and great to see it happening here down at the South Coast Festival.
With big wave rider Jason Rubink being the only African ever to be invited to the prestigious Eddie Aikau Big Wave Contest in Hawaii this year at Waimea Beach. With the qualifying heats and the semis coming to a close, the business end of the competition would see the various categories using the bigger waves to their advantage. Surfing legend Mike Lamont was out there to do just that, to compete in a way that has kept his name in the limelight as a surfing legend for many years.
Well, that was a fun heat. The waves were fun, the water was smooth, there were enough waves for everyone, and the waves, they lost a lot of their power, so it was more of a fun session. And I had a couple of nice waves. My last one was that reel though, because it was quite a biggish one, and I thought I'd pull out, and the foam ball caught me and sucked me over the falls, and I stood up and rode it, and I think it turned out to be one of my better waves.
With the beach filling up, the Grandmasters category was about to take to the water, with Daniel, Gilmore, Callahan and Escreet in the final.
Yeah, there's a few decent waves coming down the line, a little bit inconsistent, but there are some clean ones. I'm going to be patient, wait for the right one, and it's only 2 waves to count. That's all I want. Any more is a bonus, and good luck to the rest of the competitors, and thanks to Jeep and all the rest of the sponsors. Great event. See you guys next year.
Our final was a fantastic final. I couldn't have wished for a better final against Craig Daniels and Grant Gilmore, Doug Escreet. They're all good competitors, and I really thoroughly enjoyed the final. Difficult out there, but the waves were fun, and I can't complain. We've been really blessed with the waves.
Brendan Callahan, confident that his hang fives and off-the-lip maneuvers would take him onto the top spot on the podium.
We're all looking forward to it. The water is cleaned up so nicely. It's not as dirty as it was yesterday, and let's see how it goes.
It's looking nice, looking fun. Very excited to get out there.
Nicole O'Driscoll being an all-round water sports competitor.
It was actually really fun out there. Really nice waves, good conditions, hard work trying to fight those girls out there. They're all hustling so much.
With the weekend's competition coming down to the final chapter in the open men's competition, Brad Trickett would have plenty on his hands to talk about in the final.
2 days of surfing has come down to this last 30-minute heat. It's myself, Jason, Matt Moore and Donald Briley, and waves are cranking, so let's see what we can do.
The west wind is blowing for us. It's cleaned up the ocean a heck of a lot. And hopefully, some good set waves come through, and then it'll be a great final.
Donald, a fierce competitor in the life-saving world, making a smooth transition off the paddleboard into longboarding, and he's no stranger to international competition as he works his arms and legs hard to get most off the peak as the swell was starting to pick up off the rocks. And then the uncanny and almost poetic style of Matthew Moore as he carves each wave to pieces in the final, putting the pressure back onto the 3 competitors early on in this 30-minute session. Brad Trickett maybe not choosing the best wave as the clock starts ticking down in this final 30-minute session, with big wave man Jason Rubink getting his board onto a cracker of a ride.
I had one really good wave, but
dug a rail at the end and then managed to grab it again and carry on right to the beach. So sometimes you get scored a little bit less for all that. So hopefully the other way was better. So maybe I did it. I don't know. We'll sit with the wait and see.
With the judges keeping tight-lipped about who was king of the day, with everyone gathering on the grassy slopes of Scotborough's main beach, event director Paul Godwin would be conducting prize giving for both board events.
And the winner of the ladies section of the Jeep South Coast Surf Carnival is Nikki Trickett from Kimberley. And the South Coast Surf Carnival senior men champion is Mike Lamont of Hugh Thompson. And the Masters over 40 champion for the South Coast Surf Carnival is Brendan Callahan over Craig Daniel. And the 2007 South Coast Surf Carnival champion is, unfortunately, it's another Cape Townian, it's a Durban. We're not getting it again. So Matthew Moyer from Jason Ribbing.
It's my first time down here for the contest. Was so good to get down here and surf in the warm water. Yesterday the waves were pretty a bit bumpy because of the onshore, but today cleaned up really well and the waves got really good. So there was a lot of opportunity for scoring potential. So I tried to utilize the wave to my best and pulled it off. So I'm very, very happy for that one. It's a big contest to have for South Africa. Obviously, it's great to have Jeep and the independent on board. Without contests like this, the sport can't grow, obviously. So in the future, I would like to see more events happen, get the younger guys competing, and obviously have them going overseas from there. So contests like this is a good standing ground for all the young guys.
The 2007 South Coast Surf Carnival has come to an end. It was an absolutely fantastic event with outstanding kite surfing and longboarding. We had the cream of South African longboarding in attendance. We had the ISA World Surfing Champ as well as numerous champions in their fields, and it is by far the biggest longboard surfing event in Africa, never mind South Africa, and as well as the kite surfing as well. The kite surfing, we had the cream and the pioneers of South African kite surfing. We had 49 entries in yesterday's event, and the guys were blowing up big time, and over 20,000 Rand was dished out today at the prize giving, and it was absolutely excellent, and we'll see you guys in 2008.
This program was proudly brought to you by Nerve Events.